Have you heard about the feud brewing between Samuel L. Jackson and Donald Trump? You might be wondering, what could Samuel L. Jackson and Trump possibly have in common? Well, strap in, because the story is more explosive than you'd expect. The Hollywood legend is not one to shy away from speaking his mind, and it seems like Trump has become his latest target. In a recent interview, Jackson revealed that he was having a beef with none other than Donald Trump himself. But how did this all begin? Is it over politics, personal issues, or something a bit more unexpected, like a golf game? To understand how this feud started, let's break it down. It all kicked off when Jackson made a bold claim about being a better golfer than Trump. Not only did he throw down the gauntlet by challenging Trump's golfing skills, but he also told dongs a story that left Trump looking more than a little embarrassed. According to Jackson, Trump signed him up for one of his golf clubs without asking him first. And when Jackson showed up, he found himself playing alongside former President Bill Clinton, definitely not the golfing buddy he was expecting. Jackson didn't stop there. He called Trump out in the interview, saying that the former president cheats at golf. Imagine that, Hollywood-a-lister. Calling out the man who once held the highest office in the land over something as seemingly trivial as a game of golf. But Jackson's remarks didn't just stop at golfing skills. He went in hard on Trump's character. And when Samuel L. Jackson goes in, you know it's not going to be pretty. Jackson compared Trump to a sore on the lip of democracy, a line so sharp it could cut through steel. If you've seen Jackson in his roles, you know that when he gets angry, it's not pretty. This wasn't just a comment. This was a verbal smackdown. Jackson didn't hold back, calling Trump's presidency comparable to handing a toddler loaded gun and hoping for the best. A vivid image, right? It's not exactly a flattering comparison, and it's one that Trump's supporters will likely have a tough time defending. But what really stings for Trump is that Jackson didn't just make these remarks in passing. He laid them out clearly and with purpose, like a masterclass in how to roast someone. Trump, of course, had to respond. After all, he's not one to sit back when someone calls him out. But wait, there's a twist. Trump, who was once known for his prolific use of Twitter to attack his opponents, can't even fire back with his usual all-caps tirades. Why? Because he's been banned from Twitter. Talk about karma. You have to imagine Trump sitting in his golden tower, phone in hand, desperately wanting to send out a tweet but unable to do so. The man who once ruled the digital airwaves is now stuck in digital limbo. Meanwhile, Jackson is out there making headlines with his verbal burns. It's like watching the tide shift in real time. Jackson has no problem standing his ground and calling out Trump, and now without the ability to tweet back. Trump is left to stew in his own frustration. In fact, the whole situation got even more interesting when Jackson revealed that Trump had actually called him up once to play golf. But here's the kicker: Trump didn't invite Jackson to play with him. Instead, Trump arranged for Jackson to play with one of his friends. So much for being a golfing buddy, huh? Jackson made it clear that this was just another example of how Trump's ego and behavior don't quite line up with the image he tries to project. But perhaps the most entertaining part of this entire saga is Jackson's response when Trump allegedly claimed he didn't even know who Jackson was. Jackson didn't flinch. He doubled down, saying that he's met Trump several times, and not only that he's played golf with him. Talk about being caught in a lie. Jackson's easy confidence and clear knowledge of the situation left Trump scrambling to make sense of his own statements. You can almost picture Trump on the phone with his advisors, trying to figure out how to handle the fallout from this latest feud. What's next in this celebrity clash? Will Trump finally get a chance to clap back? Perhaps he'll pen a lengthy response in an attempt to salvage his pride. But without the Twitter platform to shout from, it might be hard for him to find his voice. If he's lucky, maybe he'll find solace in one of his many golf clubs. But it's hard to imagine that after this exchange, he'll be feeling particularly relaxed. For Jackson However, it seems like he's just getting started. His insults have cut through the air like a blade, and it's clear that he has no intention of backing down. He doesn't need a Twitter account to keep making waves. His words alone have power. So while Trump might be sitting on the sidelines, trying to figure out how to respond, Jackson is busy proving that sometimes. The best way to deal with a bully is to stand your ground and call them out on their nonsense. And let's be honest, here, does anyone really believe Trump can stand up to a Samuel L. Jackson roast? It's the man who gave us iconic lines like, "Say what again?" Scott isn't afraid to throw some verbal punches, and he's proven that he's got more than enough ammunition to keep this feud going. So what's next? Will Trump continue to stumble through this rivalry with his ego bruised, or will Jackson continue to dominate the conversation? One thing is certain: when Samuel L. Jackson speaks, the world listens. Whether it's Trump's golf skills or his questionable leadership, Jackson isn't afraid to shine a light on it all. And with no Twitter account to fall back on, it's safe to say Trump's going to be feeling the heat from this one for a while. This feud may have started over something as trivial as golf, but it's quickly turned into a clash of egos, with Samuel L. Jackson taking the upper hand. In the end, this isn't just about golf or politics. It's about holding people accountable for their actions and speaking truth to power. And in this battle, it looks like Jackson is the one with the final word.